Hey guys, 9:30 a.m. Monday morning, the 28th of August 2023. I'm just down at a park I haven't come to for quite a while. Big open space. Big open space. And I haven't spoken to anybody except Father in Heaven this morning, so my voice is croaky. I just finished praying out here and I'm so excited. I am just so absolutely excited to see the events unfolding in front of us. We are seeing things take place that nobody ever has. If we think back to our grandparents or our great-grandparents, remember how slow everything evolved until the 80s. I even remember the 70s. I lived the 70s and it was a very beautiful, casual time. Growth was moderately just steady, not out of control, and not at a dead halt. And we all lived the really good times. We actually could be one of the only generations, us who were born, what do they call us? Generation X? Isn't that funny? It's not, because think about it. If we are Generation X, those born 65 to whatever they take it to, we saw the best of it. I'll vouch for that. Like, I just wish when I was younger I would have been connected with my maker like I am now, because so much I wasted, so much I lost, so much waste, so much time wasted chasing my own ambitions and my own agenda. But now I only have one agenda. That's to pass on what I believe is true, to tell you what the Spirit reveals to me, if I think it's Him or if I think it's me, to be as honest as possible. Because I tell you, I think if we're going to be operating in sin right now, we're in a very, very dangerous place. I was watching Nathan Reynolds this morning and I was very disturbed. Guys. Just Parable of the Vineyard Church with Adam Fink. I'm sure a lot of you know him. Are embroiled in a pedophilic controversy that Nathan Reynolds has brought up. And Father's just put Nathan in the right place. He's been through it all. He was a SRA survivor, and I've got his book, Into the Flames, something like that, but I've got it. I read it. Very hard read. Oh boy, you have to be in a very strong spot to read that book, even though he doesn't spell out a lot of the gory stuff too bad, just knowing the circumstances of what goes on. And so Parable of the Vineyard Church is embroiled in a pedophile controversy at the moment that Nathan is bringing to the light. And so why am I saying this? Because I said what I just did. If we're operating in sin, willful sin, this was willful sin Adam Fink was operating in, because you can't tell me if you know that information that's okay to let that slide. No, we all have an obligation. My obligation out here in this world is to tell you what I know and what I've seen, and how much my life has changed in 5 years from becoming just a rebel without a cause to an absolute best I can be, trying to be obedient to Father in what He tells me to do here. I fail, we all do. I'm not saying I'm a saint. But this willful sinning, like is going on in that church, that's not, okay, so now let's move on. Are you guys aware that September 23? I hope one of you will see something in this photo, in this video. I really do. That's why I'm just pointing it up here. Do you realize September 23 this year, when the sign, September 23, 2017, the sign of the Virgin, with, the moon at her feet, the sun at her head, and Jupiter in her belly, and the baby was born. And do you realize on September 23rd this year, that constellation is aligning again, but with a different formation. Now you will have to go to Stellarium or one of those to get that formation. Okay, so it is the same sign. The thing is, it is 6 completed years since the first sign. And so, to me, that is a warning from the Father. Because the 6th year is complete, this 7th year, I believe, is the start. And I've believed this for 5 years, that 2023 was going to be. I didn't know why. I didn't know how to explain that. Who could? You can't see into the future, but the Father can. And when he tells us things in our spirit and it won't leave, and it just, it's, you say, oh, is that just me? But it keeps coming up. It kept being, it kept being confirmed, okay? All the way through. And so we have this, on September 23 this year, we have the start of that sign starting. So that was a warning. That was a 6-year warning, 7-year. You also have in the Bible a lot of the things where it was 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine, as we know. So there is an awful lot. And why is this alignment lining up again so quickly? 6 years, they hadn't seen it since the birth of Christ. So they tell us. So I'm not going to tell you that's rock solid. What they say. How come it's back? They never told us in 2017 that this would align again. They did not. But as it approached and got closer, they must have realized it was going to, and that they'd have to say it. It took 6 years to come around again, but it has. It's a very important sign. There will be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. And this was the other reason that we were taught that astrology and astronomy were evil. Now, astrology is the way that the Cabal do it and the way that the New Age do it. It is. They do use it for evil. But astronomy and watching the signs in the sun, the moon, and stars, that is not evil. It's just like when they used to make all the potions, the ladies. My daughter and I have done that. We are not witches. We use what God gave us, and what they did was label those people witches and killed them and made everybody fear not to make those potions, which they were not. They are things you get out of your garden, you boil them certain ways, mix that with that, and you've got a cough medicine. Mix that with that, you've got an antibiotic. Mix that with that, you've got something that you can put on sores. You have everything you need. And so they told everybody that these women were witches. Do you honestly believe the Salem witch trials were legitimate? I believe that they killed Christians and labelled them as witches. And I've done a little bit of digging into it. Highly, highly feasible, more than likely probable. So the September 23 sign is way more amazing than we realise yet. We all need to work together and put the bits and pieces on this, because I just keep going over the book of Revelation, and I know that something else is going to come out here that nobody's seen yet. And maybe sometimes it's always the thing has to happen and then we see it, Hindsight would be great, but it's not always possible, because I don't think we're meant to have hindsight at all times. But I think we need to pray for it now. So with what's coming, we don't even need to kind of conjure up what's coming. Those of us who have been here for a while, looking at all this stuff, we've got a fairly good picture of what it's going to be like. And yes, we haven't entered the Great Tribulation. We've been in trouble. Like, tribulation is just the word trouble. We've been in trouble. But I went back through Revelation, and I tell you, it does say that the great trouble comes when the abomination of desolation sets up. And and here's my take. The abomination of desolation is setting up as we speak. He is getting ready to take his proper place, and it won't be long. All right? It won't be long. Whatever time we have left, pray. You are worthy to escape all these things that are coming upon the face of the earth. Pray. That is all you can do. Especially if you're stuck, if you can't move, if you're in an apartment, if you're in the city, if you've got no money and no means to get out, what are you going to do? He created this world. He is the Father of all, of miracles. But there's one thing he really has to have from you. The most important thing he has to have from you is that you even believe he's real. Okay, that's your first step. Once you've got that, he can work with you. Doesn't matter what you've done, where you've been, it doesn't matter. We know that. The thieves on the cross, who's to say that one he took into paradise with him wasn't a murderer? It didn't say he wasn't, didn't say he was, didn't say what he'd done, but they didn't crucify people for just, usually it was something fairly bad. I wouldn't say stealing bread would, get you crucified. I cut your hands off and stuff like that. They did, that's true. So we've got to think that no matter what, why did Jesus come if we can't get forgiven? That's as simple as that. It means nothing without our forgiveness. And so once you realize you're forgiven, it gives you the strength to carry on day by day by day. And it makes you just automatically, the Holy Spirit automatically makes you want to obey. And that's how we conquer sin. That's how we conquer it. And, it's oh, wow. There's a guy with a paraglider. Oh, he's putting it on. Oh, we're in for a bit of a show while we're here, guys. This is awesome. I'll go up a bit closer soon. Oh, yeah? That's pretty cool. He's got it on his back. Can you see that? Where is he? Between oh, yeah, he's right there. Where is he? There he is. Haven't got my glasses on. I've got my sunnies on. Yeah, he's setting up. Still got to set his... Oh, he's nearly there. I love these things. We went to a big meeting where there were hundreds of them flying around. Oh, it was so good out in the country. And that's what I want to bring up. That's why I was saying, if you're in an apartment, a house, look, I've just been out here praying. Oh, here he goes. I've just been out here praying, okay, about that. Really saying a sincere prayer, sending it up as heaven and earth is my witness, saying it out loud, that Father, I need you to provide something. I know there is something in the pipeline, but this thing that's in the pipeline for us, Satan is stopping it. Okay, and he's not just stopping it for me, he's stopping it for several people. And so there is something that could happen. And I've prayed that the Father will move that mountain that is stopping it. It can't stop it forever. What it is a diversion. Okay, that there will definitely be escape, but will it be in time for us to be able to get there? Because the way somebody is holding out is, and this is somebody totally, I've only met the person once, believe me, but it's demonic. It's demonic, and it's going on 8 months that this person has not done what was legally needed of them to do to release money to be able to go and buy land. And it's my dearest friend in the world, and She's definitely not going to leave my husband and I behind. Besides, we got so much stuff. We got chainsaws and sawmill, and we just got things that we can all work together. Now, I have prayed about this and it's just halted. It's just stopped. But I'm not, absolutely not anxious. And it is hard for the other people to be not anxious. Oh, believe me, it would be. I wouldn't like to be them because it's just a different set of circumstances for them. But I can sit back and I can pray about it, and I can ask him to move the mountain out of the way, and I can do this and do that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that is the answer for us. He might have another answer for us. All of us involved in that situation. There might be something else. But I do believe that it'll be in his time. So even if Satan holds things up, it's still in his time. I do have a little bit of fear about the timing because things are getting dearer, things are getting harder to buy. People are starting to see what climate we're in and panic. Now, we're going into a new lockdown, aren't we? We are. We're going into it. So get prepared now. This is the thing I really wanted to say. Get prepared now. If they get so bad this time that you can't even leave your house without a mask, and the fun police are everywhere, which they were where I lived. They were. They pulled girls up for driving without a mask in their car in front of my house. Gave them a $1,400 fine. I was there. I heard them do it. And so are we going to go through that again? Yep, you bet we are. Actually worse, probably. The fines will be worse. Everything will be worse. So if you can, guys, get supplies, get enough food so you don't need to get out of the house, because they're not going to give us much warning on this. Okay? You can do it. You've still got a week, 2, 3 or 4, because he said September. So they could do it in the last week. They could do it in the first week. These are homicidal maniacs we're dealing with that do not care about you, so you need to care about you. You need to care about you and your family and get enough food to at least go out. If you've got money, go and get, this is what I'm going to do straight off the bat. I thought about it. I got lots of stuff put away, beans and, all your dried stuff that will never go off. However, I think that Patriot Pantry you've got over there, I don't know what we've got here, but we do have that 25-year shelf life food. I believe you should grab maybe 3 to 6 months supply, because then you've got both. Look, guys, it's only, $600 or something for 3 months supply. Oh, it's gone down. Actually, for you guys, I think it's like $297 for 3 months. For $600 in your dollars, you could get 6 months. So think about it. Really weigh it up. I never have before. I was always going with the, need the beans and the rice and got all that. But listen, especially if you've got to travel light. What if for some reason you haven't got the room to take all those preps or that? These things are light. They're small. They feed you. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm not on here trying to sell you Patriot Pantry. Oh, there he goes. I don't endorse anybody because our companies over here are different. But look, guys, I think we really are at the point that none of us in this community can stress enough that you need to get prepared now. We're going to fly soon, one way or the other. We know that. We are. There's going to be a rescue. I never said there wasn't going to be a rapture. I always said that it is not what you think or when you think. Okay? And we're all going to laugh about this when we get there. We're all going to, he must be up there laughing at all the things we come up with, really. He knows our hearts, and he's got a sense of humour. He gave us our sense of humour. So imagine how funny he must think this is, us trying to figure all this out. Little old us, hey? But all he wants is to see people who are. That's what he wants. He wants to see people. What do you say? Will the Son of Man find faith on the earth when he returns, for the last time? Or the second time, or whatever you like. But what I'm saying is, there are so many scriptures where he says, oh, ye of little faith. He warns people to just believe, And so but getting prepared, it's not that you're not believing. If Noah didn't listen, none of us would be here. So if we're to believe the biblical account, which I do, well then we wouldn't be here. So I think we need to be prudent. Listen to the small still voice. He will urge you. Some people here might say, do not prepare at all. You might hear it as clear as day. There could be a really good reason why he tells you not to worry about it. Whereas others, he's going to say, get ready, get your house ready. He's telling me to get my house ready. I have been. I've gone through nearly everything. I've got one more room, which is mine and my husband's bedroom, to comb through in the coming week, this week. And then my house is done. So I have got my house prepared, and then go the next step where your food is right there, that you can get it, that your bug out bag, that would be enough for a week. Because if you've got enough clothes for a week, believe me, I've gone on holidays for like 3, 4, 5 weeks. And if you've got enough clothes for a week, they'll last you forever, because you only wear but one pair of clothes a day, okay? One set of clothes a day. And then you just wash. And so I could literally have a sports bag and live out of that. This is what you have to consider if you've never considered these things before. They're little things, but you need to consider how you're going to travel. Especially look at Lahaina. What if you had to grab your bag, your best pair of shoes, a spare pair of shoes, and run? Just at least you've got that. Because if you're alive, okay? And something will work. And that's when, this is all a wonderful opportunity for people to see the power of him move. That's what miracles are. They're going to see real miracles again. Whether people say we haven't seen them forever. That's right. God has been in the miracle business ever since the beginning of time. So they can say what they will. It's just, are you going to open yourself up as a vessel who can receive what he's going to have for you? That's all. Look, I am no pastor, I'm no preacher, I'm no teacher. He has taught me everything I know. I do not go off what people say on YouTube. A lot of channels, there's not many I agree totally with. And a lot of channels, they're like 95% on point, but then something will just not be right, and you know it in your spirit. But that's okay. We can still watch them and glean from them and learn. That's what he wants us to do. It's the same as the occult. Oh, don't read an occult book. Why not? You need the information. I'll tell you why. There is a story going around this morning about them looking for Loch Ness after 50 years. Okay, so this hasn't happened for 50 years. Code, Loch Ness, the beast rising out of the sea, Revelation 13, sound familiar? And the beast will rise out of the sea. Who is the head of the Royal Navy? The British Royal Navy, I should say. Yeah, who is the head of that? The beast that rises out of the sea, the one who is ready to take his throne, the one who is ready to be revealed to the world. Leviathan, they're showing these stories in the media. This is how the Masons talk to each other, and this is what I said about reading occult books. You pray, you cover yourself, you know that you're under the Holy Spirit. You can read those darn books, yes you can, because you need discernment. That's what the normal Christian church didn't want you to do. Oh no, that's witchcraft to read those. Of course it is if you're practicing it. If you're trying to learn about it, to learn what their evil is they use against you, all you're doing is reading the enemy's handbook. So don't be persuaded. Don't listen to people. Listen to your own spirit. That's how I got through my own life. And I was always a rebel. Everyone told me I was. Well, you know what? Father made me that way. And now it has come in very, very handy indeed. Okay. Well, so here we are at a very, very critical point, this end of this August. I'm not saying anything's going to happen in September. I'm saying that he's left that as the sign. The 6 years was the completion. And the 7th year, oh, if you've got the protection, you'll be fine. You see, we're entering into that 7th year of rest. What did they do with debts on the 7th year? It had to be cancelled. You have to spell a paddock for the 7th year. It needs to spell. You cannot plant anything in that paddock. The 7th year. Almost like a jubilee, you know, almost. Very close. So, all right, I'm going to leave it there. I do have people coming over and visiting in a couple of hours, so I better get home and get ready for that. And I'll be loving that. And I hope you all have a really good day. Please comment. If you get something out of my talks, just let me know. I don't want to be banging on and not be fruitful. I need you. I need to know that, you know, at least I'm fruitful for some of you. And a lot of people don't want to hear these messages. That's okay. We're still planting seeds. Don't worry. Even if they don't want to hear it, we're still planting seeds. We're doing what we've been told. You're not going to get there and he's going to say you were too slack, you were too scared. You know there won't be cowards up there. You know that, right? Don't be a coward. That's the main thing. Speak up at least. Even under threat of persecution from whoever it is. If something is said and you know it's not right there and there, try to correct it for the sake of the people listening. If they attack you, shake the dust off your feet and walk away. Not forever, but at that time. Keep planting seeds, guys. We can do it. We can do this. We're nearly there. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I'm so excited. We're something. We can all feel it. It's going to, boom, break. I believe the beast is coming out of the sea. Well, we will soon see, won't we? All right. This is Beck. I love you all very much, from Bobo and Jazzy, who are here. They're just sitting. Look at this. Like this place, this Brisbane used to always be so clean. It's becoming a pit. I'm just going to show you. We're going third world here too, and keep Australia beautiful. Even an ashtray. You kidding me? At the park, or is it a cup? Oh, it's somebody's cup. Look. This is a park that hardly anybody even comes down to, or never used to. There was never a thing here, and now it's just a rubbish dump. I'm really ashamed of my fellow Australians because I taught my children how to use a garbage bin from day one. Never throw anything out of a moving vehicle. Just disgusting. And I can judge that because we all have to live here, and you know, if it's good enough for a few of us to do it, you know, be nice if everybody did. There's my whinge for the day. All right, this is Beck. That guy's given up on what he's doing. Mustn't have been windy enough. I love you all. Pray that you're counted worthy, and just pray for all of us. I pray for all of us. I pray for all the believers around the world. All of those who are calling out on his name. It's very important we pray for each other, even though we don't know each other. We use it as a congregation prayer. I hate that word because it reminds me of church, you know. But, you know, we are all one, and under that covering of his wings. I love you all. Take care. This is Beck. I am out.